Hi, folks. This is Stone. I hope you all are doing well tonight and ready to ring in. Got them going in a couple of places, so we'll talk about that. And on my thumbnail, you know how America is home of the free, right? Where you can stand your ground. Well, Junior's got it wrong here. Home is for free. Stand your ground. So anyway, this freaky thing on the screen, he's going to be in a lot of memes, almost as much as the screaming liberal I talk about. If she'd only get a nickel for every meme she's ever been in, you're going to be seeing this goober quite a bit. So anyway, what do I do while I wait for folks to get into the chats and get ready to commiserate on what's happening? And give them time to have, it's still eggnog season. Get your eggnog with a little jolt of something in there to perk you up or calm you down, whatever. A cold beer, a cup of coffee, whatever you want.
Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning. Today, we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. A small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government while the people have borne the cost. Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its wealth. Politicians prospered.
What? The Insurrection Act, under what conditions or terms would you?
Well, I'd do it if it was necessary. So far it hasn't been necessary, but we have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, sure, I'd do that. I mean, I want to make sure that people aren't killed. We have to make sure that our cities are safe.
I am the captain now.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. Constitution we will take care of.
Hi, folks. How y'all doing tonight? This is Mountain Man. I hope you all are doing well. Let's see what I got on the screen. Oh, I don't have nothing on the screen. Let me put up something while I had something set up that I want to put up that is representative, I believe, of what is going on and things we have to remember, like Sun Tzu, right? There we go. That's what I want to have on there. Let your plans be dark and as impenetrable as night. And when you make a move, you fall like a thunderbolt. So anyway, folks, who's come to join me tonight? Let's see, we got a lot of people coming in. That's good. That's wonderful. Are you all having a happy new year? Hi, Colette, Sissy, Sherry, Todd, Darla, Randy, Doc's here, Angel, nice to see you. Well, Angela, right? Okay, I got it. All right, and New Insight, MS Motorsports, Robin's here. Let's see, Sissy's here, Doc's here, Kim's here. Oh, she's overseas, you say. Your wife's overseas? Where'd they go? Oh, okay. She's already got the New Year celebrated. All right. Well, tell her to let us know how it's going. Wayne's here. How you doing, Wayne? Nice to see you. I saw Wayne's name. Where'd it go? There's MS Motorsports, New Insights. Where'd Wayne go? He said give me a thumbs up, so I hope you all remember to do that. Rebecca, nice to see you. There he is. Hi, Wayne. Miss Menderson. All right, don't y'all get too drunked up New Year's. Don't get too rowdy. So anyway, what's our New Year's resolution? Because we're in a revolution and there's one going on over in Iran. Of course, they are pushing back the way tyrants usually do, especially after they disarm their population. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. And this upheaval that a 23-year-old caused in liberal circles just by taking a camera around and saying, hey, what are you guys up to? And they're flipping out. It's their entire modus operandi being exposed. How they've stolen our rights, our freedoms, our sweat of our brow, our treasure. We look back, my parents, I wish they could see this going on now. But what did Trump call it during his first inauguration? Carnage. This American carnage was going to come to a stop. And, yeah. How long is it going to take? We shall see. Here's the fellow that was suspected, is being threatened. His family's being hassled. Little him. But this is a fellow who had the paperwork together. The whistleblower, the one who had current figures. He says he's filed a criminal complaint against Tim Walz.
I filed a formal criminal complaint against Tim Walz for violating Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9. So there's an investigation ongoing, and I think Tim's going to have a bad day, and he deserves it because he allowed this fraud, because he wanted the voting bloc that the Somalis represent, because they all vote in a block, and it's 100,000, 150,000, who knows how many. But it's so bad now that when we go to a facility, they're already screaming, Nick Shirley, Nick Shirley, Nick Shirley.
Yep. So we'll see how that goes. I've got a lot of videos. The media doesn't know how to handle this situation. They have no idea how to handle it. But they're trying to get aggressive against Shirley. Oh, Mamdi's getting sworn in on a Quran. Okay. Well, there's no pretense about it. He's a Muslim and he's a communist. Oh, I'm sorry. A national socialist. Or no, not national socialist. What is he? Some kind of socialist. But whatever you say, don't say commie. No, he's a commie. Yeah, at least they're showing themselves. Look here. This is the Washington Monument. And no, that's not colors of the rainbow. It's red, white, and blue. 250 years. A quarter millennia. You know how long a millennia is, right? A millennia is 1,000 years. Our republic has stood, albeit barely at some points in time, for 250 years, a quarter millennium. And they put out a commemorative penny that collectors and coin dealers and whatnot can purchase from the Treasury. It says on the penny. I could have got a picture of that, but I didn't. And I was thinking, you know what? They should do a quarter millennia quarter. I am going to have to get a hold of Donald Trump. A quarter millennia quarter. Because that puts it in perspective. So hopefully this American revolution, new revolution, will last for the rest of the millennia or beyond. And let's see. I'm going to put up some Trump posts because he sets a tone sometimes, even though you might think, wow, he's all over the place on some things. He's got a lot of subjects to cover and a lot of things to keep in the American people's consciousness. One, though, is a sideshow. And a lot of morons are destroying their careers, which they wouldn't even have a career if they couldn't get grants from the government for their art. More artists pull out of Kennedy Center shows following name change. Has-beens, never will be's, and whatnot. But wouldn't you know, CNN's going to make a stink about it. The Kennedy Center's been hit with a string of abrupt cancellations. Well, good luck. Anybody want to see you anywhere else? Whoever the hell you are. In the wake of the Board of Trustees adding President Donald Trump's name to the landmark performing arts institution. Nobody cares. Nobody knows who these so-called artists are. But you see on Midas Trash Network and all these, I'm like, oh, they're all boycotting Trump, all the artists. You never heard of them. Nobody ever heard of them. Who are they? And like I say, they get grant money to get on the stage and squeal and holler and call it singing or whatever they do. And they wouldn't have an audience anyway, because the people they try to appeal to are tighter than bark on a tree. And they wouldn't spend money to see anywhere, but they'd go to places like the Kennedy Center. The Kennedys never really went there. The last family member I believe went to the Kennedy Center was Robert, RFK. Here's what the White House put out. Let me see. Yeah. Whoa, wait a minute. What happened? It won't move for me. There we go. There we go. Put this out. I mean, it was a dump. It was turning into a dump. Who put this up? Richard Grinnell. The Trump Kennedy Center shows a bipartisan commitment to the arts. Trump War Room put this up. Kennedy family didn't go around there. They didn't put much into it. It's run by donors, and it's a foundation. So anyway, they're trying to make a stink of it where nobody cares. That name, you got some Democrats saying, "Oh, first thing I do when I get in office." You don't have to worry about it because your ass will never be in office when we're finished exposing this fraud. And little things like this, Babylon Bee, ain't it so true? Man achieves American dream of working hard and paying taxes for 50 years so he can fund fraudulent Somali daycares. Yeah, this is cutting deep, folks. It's cutting deep. And people are ready to throw down over this stuff. And they ought to be. Their legacy, their children are having a harder time coming up in life. They're dealing with a lot of strife, crime, all because of this criminal conspiracy that's been going on for years. Stephen Miller put out here he is. He put it out there just like it is. For decades, the structure of U.S. society, by intent and design, was remade to redistribute wealth, resources, property, and opportunity from Americans to non-Americans. These looted assets were then used to finance the Democrat Party and all its subsidiary schemes and structures. Yeah, that's putting it in a nutshell, but it's a bigger nutshell, but I won't pick at it. I mean, they did a good job putting it in terms we can understand. And the key, how do you stop it from ever happening again? You take away the power that they've been availing themselves of. And as I've said many times, 16th Amendment is one of those pillars of power that they abuse, which is the ability to tax personal income from any source in any amount. That's just a gateway to tyranny and slavery, which we're in right now. We're all slaves to these ridiculous fools that have wormed their way into power. Right there. Look there. Covers billions of taxpayer dollars went to questionable payments under the Biden administration. Questionable payments. Billions of taxpayer dollars went to questionable rental assistance recipients under former President Biden, including tens of thousands who are already dead. Okay? Tens of thousands. Kind of like they're voters. Never mind illegal aliens and fraudulent citizens. I don't give a damn if they've been naturalized, if they didn't live up to their what they swore to on their application and became a ward of the state and abused our system, they should be denaturalized and removed from the country. So I'm an American citizen like hell. In a lot of cases, like hell you are. You're a fraud. It's bad enough they got away with this birthright citizen crap for decades. Thank you, Henry Kissinger. Thank you, Jimmy Carter. The report found roughly 30,000 deceased tenants received payments along with thousands of potential non-citizens. So we need to get them the hell out. Where's that HUD secretary? I got a video of him. I got a lot of videos of talking heads, creepy liberals putting their 2 cents in. And like I said, they're scrambling because they can't get a narrative right. How can you defend this stuff? But like the meme says, Trump, for my next trick, I'll have the left defending drug dealers. For my next trick, I'll have the left defending fraudsters. Let me see. Let me put this one up. I gotta go with these clips as I can. Here we go. What's this one? Turning a blind eye. Minnesota Governor Walz was warned of rampant fraud.
Group, and as journalists have to be very careful about how we talk about this story. There are some fraudsters in Minnesota who are engaging in bad acts. There's an investigation being done by the Justice Department and the federal government investigating them. That does not mean that there should be a wholesale attack against the Somali community or immigrant communities in general.
If it's systemic to the Somali community, which is the allegation, and
there's a group of people.
You brought those people here from a country that we.
Wait a minute.
You brought those people here from a country.
Some of them were born
Absolutely.
here.
Yes. Okay.
Some of them
The
were
first
born
generation here. From that. I mean, President Trump has his own take on naturalization.
Some of them were born.
But if you're born into a culture and
Did you see the anger in his eyes when they want to repeat the same crap over and over again? We don't want to upset the good citizens, the good migrants, the good people. We know there are a couple of criminals out there. As soon as somebody tries to say, hey, wait a minute, what the hell are you talking about? You see the anger in their face, and they want to talk over people all the time. You'll see it with this, what's her name? Abby, something or CNN. I don't know what her name is. I'll play it for you.
In a community that dances around with another country's flag, because I mean, I saw the videos today that says things like there was a Somali leader introducing Ilhan Omar saying she's not talking about America, she's not talking about Minnesota, she's advocating for Somalia. That's the problem, is if you have a community that comes here to this country so tight-knit and so still adhere to the country they came from, that they don't have any sort of allegiance here.
Both my parents are immigrants to this country, but I am an American too. And that's what makes America,
what we want.
And that's what makes America.
And that's what we want.
And so are the people, so are the 80,000 Somalis who are also born in this country.
I can't say that wholesale. I'm seeing fraud I'm seeing fraud from that community.
What makes America America is that a mom,
I'm seeing a state pander to that community and change their state flag to mimic the country they come from.
She's a refugee here.
I see Ilhan Omar go on there.
I think everybody's too close to it.
Instead of Minnesota or the United States.
What makes the country great is that
we gotta go. They're yelling at me.
Was a refugee.
I'll get out in the break.
Became the Secretary of State. That's what makes America great.
Well, listen, all I can say is by that metric, the mafia must have been Malaysian, all right? Because, that's...
Oh, come on. That means you're saying all Italians are criminals?
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. All right, come on.
That's wrong.
I agree. All right.
Yeah, a bunch of low IQ criminal savages makes America great. Letting America get ripped off. We're great. Yeah. What a nitwit. But anyway, here's these two guys came out yesterday. I remember in high school when you had what was called the media club. The media club, they had a cart, they pushed it around, and back then they had a overhead projector or a 8mm movie projector. And they show, and then things got high tech. They had a beta player, and they had glasses and pocket protectors and high water pants with white socks and brown shoes. That's what they I'm sure they're nice guys. I'm just saying that's what they remind me of back in school. But anyway, what their action they're taking to stem the flow of money. I was going to say the red stuff, but
Hello, I'm HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. I'm here with Assistant Secretary Alex Adams. Alex oversees the Administration for Children and Families. Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children. Yesterday, I spoke directly with the director of the Minnesota Child Care Services Office. She could not tell me with confidence whether those allegations of fraud are isolated or whether there's fraud stretching statewide.
Today, we have taken 3 direct actions against the blatant fraud that seems to be rampant in Minnesota. First, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF child care payments across America. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment. Second, I have just signed and sent a demand letter to Governor Walz. I required a full 360 review of these centers. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections.
And third, we've launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov. Whether you're a parent, a provider, a member of the public, we want to hear from you. Let me be crystal clear. ACF expects every state to uphold the highest standards of oversight, monitoring, and accountability for federal dollars. Minnesota is no exception.
We're committed to holding bad actors accountable. Regardless of rank or office, anyone who's involved in perpetrating this fraud against the American people should expect to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Okay, well, let's see it happen. Regardless of rank or office or status or any of that crapioka. You know, I want to put this up. A little something for you all to think about. Maybe get a screenshot of it. Remember Melissa Hortman? Remember that character that was going around assassinating people in Minnesota, and they caught him? And he supposedly said that Tim Walsh ordered him to do it. They right away tried to claim he was a MAGA, and he wasn't. He worked for Tim Walsh's office in the past. Well, her death directly after voting, to not give illegals money in Minnesota makes a lot more sense after the massive billion-dollar fraud scandal came out. Her assassination, right? And we haven't heard anything out of that. Speaking of assassinations, this freak right here, Tyler Robinson. He's in the same bucket as far as I'm concerned as that Luigi Mangione, a coward. Tyler Robinson's defense claimed client appeared shackled, offends the dignity of the courtroom. How about if he shows up in his furry outfit, all right? How about that? With his boy/girlfriend. The defense said that the state had not offered any specific evidence that Robinson presents a risk to anybody in the courtroom or himself. No, that should be part of the punishment. The process should be part of the punishment in this specific case. Treat him for what he is, a lunatic murderer. Here's a soft lunatic here. The one on the left. Look at that. Scrawny, vegan, soy boy running for office because he doesn't know what else to do with his life. Confronts our Border Patrol commander, what's his last name? Bonino? Border Patrol commander handles a Democrat politician in Chicago. You're not welcome in my town. And yeah, Bovino. He said, this is a taxpayer's town, not your town. Check yourself. It's probably the first time he's had a grown man bark at him. He didn't know how to act. I saw the video. He didn't know how to act, little worm. Maybe I'll leave this up for a little bit. Very true right here. I'll put it next to Sun Tzu. The Somalis didn't come up with this fraud scheme on their own. Since they have such a high IQ. Hi, Elva. How you doing? Debbie, I saw you come in earlier. Nice to see you. Rain, nice to see you. I saw your message, Rain. And also, whoever it was, somebody left me a message asking about the picture on the left. Is that Trump wearing in the corner, or is it General Patton? Well, I don't remember General Patton wearing a Make America Great hat, so it's Trump. Oh yeah, there's going to be YouTubers swarming these places. It's kind of like when everybody started going around hassling the post office. Hey, I'm doing an audit. You can't make me leave. I got to write the videotape. Now at least they'll be putting their energies towards something a little more productive for seeing what the hell's going on, auditing, a real audit. Blessings to you too, Elva. Pappy Two Bears, thank you for going by Buy Me a Coffee. The other night, I appreciated you. You must have put that in just before I close the live stream out. I'm going to give you a boom. And everybody else that went to Buy Me a Coffee. And I've got a link in the description on Rumble too. That's still a untouched link. But anyway, boom. There we go. Pow! So anyway, thank you, Pappy Two Bears and Miss Menderson for this last week of the year. Norm, Roland, Wayne, Debbie, Angie, and I'm sure I got everybody. So yeah, there's a link in the description. There you go. Miss Menderson's putting in the booms. What time is it? 33 minute. Let's see if I got a link. Oh, no, it's not the right one. I have to do it some other time. When I got a video plan, I'll put a link in. Thank you, Pappy. I'm glad you appreciate my efforts. Hey, I got to put this one up in memoriam. You might want to take a screenshot of this and put it on your meta page too. Never forget the legend who did this on the height of lockdown lunacy. They made a dummy and stuck it out on the beach. And they had a bunch of cops go out there to hassle a dummy. Had 3 dummies going out to hassle a dummy about not wearing a mask. Remember that kind of crap? These are the same people that are celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk are the same ones who couldn't wait to violate your rights and your liberties over a exacerbated illness. That was all part of it too. All part of it. The weaponization of that illness. And what did I tell you about Brigitte Bardot? Here's a picture of her from one of her movies. What does it say at the bottom? She was inciting racial hatred, unquote. That was over there in France. She didn't give a damn. Like I said, that's why she was out of the spotlight for so long. So rest in peace, Brigitte Bardot, and thank you for speaking your mind. Here we have Donald Trump. He put up a picture of Lady Justice. Liberal activist judges are waging war against Trump. Truly, what else can Trump have thrown at him by the left? I put in my title, Judges Purge. I don't see any other way to move forward as a nation. We can't continue to take these abuses and have judges run cover for them anymore. Here you go. Put this on your Meta. Fraud in Minnesota, fraud in California. They're not going to go down without a fight. But let me put it this way. They're going down. They're going down. So Trump put out a truth about California. I'll come across it. I'll put it up. Gavin Newsom. And look at these two morons here. I don't know how Sharpton stayed out of jail. I have no idea. Talking about naming a snowplow. This dopey mayor. No, MS Now. That's who I was wondering. Who's Al Sharpton with? What kind of so-called news agency is going to waste its time about a mayor putting no ice or anti-ice or something like that on a dopey snowplow? That's supposed to be big news.
The Windy City is known for its fierce winters. I've been there. And just like every year, you've petitioned Chicagoans for a new snowplow name. You yourself have backed a nominee, quote, abolish ICE. It's funny and it's clever. What are citizens saying both about naming the plow and about ICE's actions in the city?
When the Trump administration moved on, the big nasty bill, there are only two other entities that have a large, and it's China's military. And he has used it as a privatized force to enact terror, not just terror, but a great deal of harm against people. And so over the course of several years in this city, we have stood firm on our values. And it just happened to coincide with the time in which we name all of our fleet utilities. We have to take a stronger look at how this administration has used ICE and how it has caused tremendous harm. That's why that particular name of this truck being named Abolish ICE has my full and completed.
What an idiot. Look at that. That's a SH and that's it eating grin. Okay? That's what they call that. And who cares? You're just showing how stupid you are, how ignorant you are. But I tell you what, how would you like to have this in your neighborhood? Let me get this on the screen. Oh my goodness. Well, I'll get it up there in a second. I'm having troubles with my studio. They had an ordinance getting voted on in a here we go. What this new American state ordinance would allow. Guess what it would allow, folks? I think it's in, I don't know. Let's see what they do. They're allowing animal sacrifice in the home, in your basement or whatever. And here's where the left is getting themselves tripped up. You see a pink-haired, I'm sure it was pink-haired or blue-haired freak speaking out against this ordinance. But you voted for this woman. I guarantee you, I think it's Minnesota. I guarantee you agitated for this type of culture to come into your neighborhoods. Can you imagine that? They're cutting a chicken's head off and running around with some kind of voodoo chants if they're from Haiti, or bringing a goat up the sidewalk to the house and taking it to the basement back and doing their ceremonies. They'll probably have some people doing 10, 20 sacrifices next door to your home, animal sacrifices. So but anyway, let me go ahead and play it.
Debates raged on for at least 3 animals.
Really ridiculous, catastrophic resolution.
If it's not passed, then we are ready to take it to the court for the religious rights. It is constitution.
This was the second debate of the new ordinance, and there was a crowd outside of the City Hall chambers filling out cards to speak, and they were watching it on closed-circuit TV.
No, it's not safe or sane or humane because basements or kitchens or backyards are not suitable places for live animal slaughter.
Many people, including Muslim residents, were against it, citing sanitary concerns if the animals are sacrificed in a home and not in a sterile environment, especially in the tight-knit neighborhoods of Hamtramck.
Did you see where they had the council sign hanging on the wall or on the ceiling? Underneath they had it in Arabic. You idiots want to give away your country? Well, you ain't giving away mine. Here's a talking head. Let's see. Is this where... I'm not sure what this one is about. But believe me, they get to where it's Nick Shirley. Everything is Nick Shirley's fault. But I'm not sure what this clip is about. Let me see.
The search is on for a seafood snatcher who got away with $400,000 worth of lobster. Now, the lobsters, which weren't alive, were headed for Costco stores in Illinois and Minnesota. The supply chain company Rexing says someone posed as a truck driver and stole the shipment. Now, the company's president says the loss is significant for a mid-sized firm and will drive up supply chain costs.
I think she said Minnesota up there. I'm not sure. Somebody posed like a truck driver and made off with $400,000 worth of lobsters. I wonder who it was. I wonder what the profile would be of somebody like that. I don't know. Maybe we'll never hear about it. Or it'll be a picture of someone that they say is WHITE, and they're obviously not. Oh, I should have put this one up earlier when I was showing the Kennedy stuff, but the board voted unanimously. I had an article where this one congresswoman, some old fuddy-duddy woman, said she was going to try to pass something or put some bill forth to take Trump's name off because Congress is the only one that can put names on buildings, but not if they have their own board. Okay, you dumb bat. But anyway, Trump's on there, and it was a unanimous vote by the Board of Trustees for the Kennedy Center, the Trump Kennedy Center. Let me see what. Yeah, Trump put that up again. Trump Kennedy Center, yeah. Trump rubbing their face in it. That's great. I love it. Keep rubbing it. And they can keep canceling, get some real talent in there. Citizen Free Press put up, there's a good chance Antifa will go to Nick Shirley's house and terrorize, intimidate him and his family with tacit approval of the Democrat Party. I would say the media also, but you might as well, you don't have to, if you say Democrat Party, you are saying the media. The media is owned by the Democrat Party. Nick Shirley, there are bounties on my head in Minnesota for exposing fraud. Who was he talking to? He was talking to Don Jr. Let me put that up. Like I said, some of these, you'll see some of these newscasters, so-called newscasters, blaming it on Nick Shirley. It's all his fault.
They're so mad. The Somalians are so mad because can you imagine? For years, you're at the dinner table talking with your family about how everything's good. Oh, we don't need to worry because the government and whatnot. I mean, 81% of these people are on welfare, but on top of that, they're collecting millions of dollars for these companies. Tax exempt, by the way, especially the daycares. So can you imagine how mad they are now? Like, that's why they're right now, there's, like, people are so upset. Like, there's, like, bounties on me here in Minnesota because people are so upset as far as the fraud that's being exposed because they know their time's up and they know everyone's just sick and tired of this happening inside their own state and across America.
What have some of those threats been?
Yeah, there was apparently like a bolo that they used. That's the word that some people told me was on me, and I can't reveal too much just because I don't want to reveal. But like, yeah, lots of messages, death threats, obviously on social media, and then it's just not the most safe thing for me to be moving around freely, right?
The left is full of mentally ill individuals, and hopefully some of the more rational people who maybe generationally voted Democrat will start saying, "What? I don't want to be associated with this trash," and get away from them. I had a report that was back in 2013, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Here we go. So if they're reporting this 13 years ago, how did Tim Walsh not know about it? Of course he's enabling it. And we don't want to make a rash move, put him in handcuffs and all this stuff. And they got, some big technical legal reason to say, oh, he was unjustly arrested. We want to make sure we got our ducks in a row when we do it. But reports like this and recalling them and showing them strengthens our hand. This was in 2013. And there's another report that was out in 2015 showing Somali women taking their kids to the daycare, signing in, getting money, and then taking a kid home with them. Nick Shirley said 81% were on welfare. Well, it's 89 when they get here, and after 10 years, 84% of them are still on full government assistance. Why the hell do they need somebody to watch their kids? They don't. So they get a cut for bringing their kid. They get a little commission, and then they just take their kid and go home. And that's why daycares are empty. But anyway, let me play this video.
It's not difficult to see a pattern of it's terrible how it's
doing surveillance, talking with insiders.
It's big. It's bigger than I think the state realizes.
To expose a scheme that's costing tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars a week.
It's a lot of work, and you have to make sure that, everything is following the rules.
Yasmin Ali is the owner of Deco Family Centers. This is her giving a tour to an undercover Fox 9 producer.
But a lot of people that we work with that are low-income families.
Ali tells our producer that many of her customers are on assistance. They qualify to have the government pay for their kids' child care. They can get that help if they're working, training for a job, or hunting for one.
I think it's doing a disservice to the people that truly do need child care assistance.
We interviewed 4 Deco employees who have intimate knowledge of the operation. They've also shared information with government fraud investigators. 2 agreed to talk on camera as long as we disguised them.
So they were misrepresenting a lot of what was going on there.
Exactly.
According to our sources, Deco was actively recruiting women who qualify for child care assistance and offering them jobs at the centers. Some confirmed to us.
Hello. Do you work here?
Yeah.
You do? How many children do you have? Two? And the children come here as well?
Yeah.
Who pays for their child care?
For the child care money?
Yes.
The county.
The county.
DECO then bills the county for child care while the moms are supposedly working.
Were these legitimate jobs or not?
No, there were too many that were being hired. We didn't even need that many.
Our informants tell us that only a small percentage of the moms did anything.
2%. 2%.
Did some kind of work.
Did some kind of work. Sometimes they would come in, sign their children in, sign themselves in, and go grocery shopping.
Our sources say the more children a woman had to enroll in child care, the more she'd make per hour, even though she had the same job title as all the other moms.
The reason for that is because then they had more assistance for each of the families.
On numerous occasions, we saw lots of women coming to the centers, each with 4, 5, or more kids in tow.
Her value was in how many children she had.
According to government records, DECO's Minneapolis and St. Paul centers were each eligible to receive nearly $50,000 in child care assistance funds every 2 weeks. Do the math. That's over $2 million a year.
They're making a ton of money.
According to our insiders, timesheets were submitted to the county, which inflated the hours the moms actually spent in the centers, allowing DECO to bill the government for maximum child care time.
So they'd fix the time schedule.
Correct.
A lot of women they did this for?
Yes.
State inspection reports obtained by the Fox 9 investigators show DECO has previously been cited for a number of logistical problems, including a lack of keeping accurate records of when staff work, background checks on employees, in order to provide documented proof that staff members received mandated safety training.
While employed there, I saw falsifying documentation.
So the records showed they'd received this training, but in fact they had not.
Correct.
I stopped by DECO's Apple Valley office to speak with owner Yasmin Ali. She wouldn't go on camera, but I did record our conversation.
We're told that you were falsifying records to get child care money.
That's not true, but as I say, I'm not going to have any comments right now.
In addition to all the funds for child care, DECO was also getting public money for kids' meals. The Minneapolis Center got nearly $90,000 for food in its first year of operation. This place did the catering. It's owned by Yasmin Ali's brothers.
We obtained a copy of the catering contract signed by Adarus Ali. We've seen his signature before on federal court documents. In 2009, Ali pled guilty to perjury. The Justice Department says he lied to a federal grand jury, testified he knew nothing about Somali men from Minnesota being recruited by a terrorist group to fight in their homeland, when in fact, he sat in on a discussion and even drove some of the men to Twin Cities International for their flight to Somalia. Ali did not respond to numerous requests by the Fox 9.
How much you want to bet he's still in the country? This guy right here, his last name is Ali. Funneling money back to Somalia, doing fraudulent business with these fraudulent daycares. Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you. 40s. How you doing? Kind of guy. 40s. I'll just call you 40s. Ha ha. Nice to see you. I put a link in the description at about the 50-minute mark for Buy Me a Coffee if anybody wants to show their appreciation for my efforts in this endeavor. We're trying to cut the lights on. So, what are they saying now? Now, did you know that because of Nick Shirley, these peaceable daycare centers that work so hard got broken into and somebody stole all their records of what kids they had who worked for them and everything? Yeah, Yeah, they even called the police. Look, here they are showing the news reporters. Somebody broke in and didn't take anything but their records.
Of what they say vandals did. Now, this is where they say the vandals got into the daycare through cinder block and appeared to be unsuccessful when trying many other ways. The daycare says it appears the vandals first tried to saw into the door of the Family Dollar next door in the shopping center, but that didn't work. The manager claims those who broke in went straight to the office, stealing information of the many children who were taken care of here.
We are not a part of any harmful things that are being said. We have no problem with CCAP, and our licensing has been good, even the inspections. I want to say no intimidation is going to stop us.
That's the manager of this daycare. I got an extended interview. Whoa, what happened? Let me get to it. I got an extended interview with this character. Trump put out a tweet that's crooked as hell, or some kind of verbiage. I'll have to find it. But anyway, here he is. A big load of BS coming out of this guy's mouth. You know what? It's a good thing this country has evolved. We don't tar and feather anymore. We don't run people out on a rail. And look at the lady behind him. Watch her pained face and shaking her head. We need IQ tests before people can vote. And if they got this stolen land attitude, anti-American attitude, we got to do something. We can't have people like this in positions of power or trust, a public trust with public money. But anyway, it's all Nick Shirley's fault, you know? This honest daycare, they don't have computers. They had to have everything in file cabinets. So they don't have any records of who was coming there or what kind of money they were making or how many kids were there or who they employed. They're victims.
Yesterday morning, I was called by the owner because unfortunately someone came in to our daycare. We looked and saw what happened, and we saw that the suspect came in from the back, broke in from the back kitchen, and he also destroyed the wall to come in. As we walked around the daycare, we saw that our office doors was broken into as well. We saw that, unfortunately, there was important documentation, enrollment of the children, and also employee documentation that was gone. There were also checkbooks that were ripped from our check papers that were ripped from our book. This is devastating news, and we don't know why this is targeting our Somali community, as one video made by a specific individual made this all happen. We've been receiving hateful messages through our voice notes threatening us since the past couple of days, including one that happened yesterday morning when after the break-in. This is frightening and exhausting because this is happening to us Somali communities as Somali Americans. We are supposed to stand with each other and help each other through everything that's happening. This is also sad that a video can cause all of this. I want to say that there are hundreds of daycares out there, Somali daycares that are out there, and we all help our children and everyone in our community. We have high quality daycares, and this is a false claim about fraud that is happening in the daycares, how engaged everyone else to come and do this to us.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that, Junior. We'll see how smart you are, okay? If this is a hoax or a setup. And I said if, okay? Because in my opinion, it's more likely than not you're a charlatan and you're a liar and you've obstructed justice and you've been stealing money from the American people and you had no business being in this country in the first place. A criminal cabal installed Joe Biden and then used the powers of his office to undermine our country. Here you go, something put on your meta page. When TurboTax asks you if you have any dependents, yeah, I got one. I got about 100,000, at least 150,000 in Minnesota alone. A great majority of them have to go. Or forget about it. Just forget it. Just leave your door open and let them come in and get everything you have. Where is that one where Trump noticed that clip? And he said was I think he said fraud. I'm not sure. But anyway, here's another clip of Nick Shirley. He gets more specific about what they're doing. And that clown that I just had up there repeatedly referred to Nick Shirley's video. Wasn't hard to figure that out. Everything was fine. Trouble. How about that local news report I just played from 13 years ago?
Have you gotten any threats? Like actual death threats?
Yeah, well, in person and also.
Can you tell me about that? Like, are they messaging you saying, we're going to get you? What are they saying to you?
Yeah, like they're saying, oh, like, kirked. You're going to be kirked.
You're going to be kirked. That's what they're saying to you.
Yeah, like you're the next, you'll be the next Kirk. And it's just like, are you kidding me? Because it's not even, like, I hate what's happening right now. Like, I feel bad for my family, honestly, because it's like, yeah, like, we didn't do anything wrong. And yet you guys are coming after me like I'm some sort of villain, right? So I'm like, my little sister's getting phone calls. I'm like, why are you guys doing this?
Your little sister's getting phone calls?
Yeah, from, like, the news. I'm like, okay, don't talk to my family. I mean, some news in India, they doxed my home, they doxed my dad, it was really weird. I haven't even told my dad about that because I just don't want to even bother him about it.
Well, Dad, you know now.
But, like, they put it, like, it's just like, are you guys kidding me? Like, why are you guys coming after somebody for going against fraud? Like, I didn't make this a right or left issue. I just showed you guys that fraud was happening, and now you guys are coming after me. You're saying, I'll be the next Kirk. You're literally stopping at intersections and coming after me and trying to attack me. Like, why are you so evil? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you defending fraud? Do you like money being stolen? No. Then what are you doing? You're a racist. No, I'm not a racist. I'm just telling you what the facts are. That you guys are stealing money from the people that are working hard here inside the United States. I was literally talking to a black man, and then the Somali man comes out, and he's also black, so I can't understand what they're thinking, calling me a racist. I'm having a great conversation with a black man, and then another black man comes up, and he's Somali descent, and he comes and attacks me for being a racist. I'm like, no, I'm not a racist. It's so stupid. And that's why the fraud has been able to happen for so long, because people like Tim Walter are afraid to be called racist.
Yeah, he's only 23 years old. And he shook up the world, really. And hopefully there'll be more like it. I'll keep playing this in a minute. But how he's pointing out, he was talking to a black guy. Everybody's discussing what kind of theft there is of American citizens. It doesn't matter their color. And so the Somalian comes out, oh, you're a racist, while he's talking to a black guy. No, we're Americans who don't like getting ripped off. It doesn't matter whether we're black or white. You're ripping us off, and we're sick of it. I'll play a video a black guy put up about these Somalians in a minute. Let this finish.
And me and my generation, we're over it. Like, we don't care.
Oh, I love that, buddy.
Like, we do not care. Call us a racist. I do not care, because I am not a racist. We're just seeing that prices of homes are so expensive. I don't even have a friend that can afford a home. People aren't getting married because of how expensive things are. And we're paying so much money in taxes. Most kids are, I'm lucky because I didn't go to college, but most kids are starting their life off behind the starting line. They're thousands of dollars in the debt. And so, yes, we're upset because you guys are stealing millions of dollars and getting rich, and then you're bragging about the white man working on TikTok. Who's actually the racist? You're the racist. You're the one saying the white man, you work, white woman, you work, white man. We're sick of it. Nobody cares. Like, stop committing fraud. If you're going to be here, be happy to be here and work hard like we're working hard. Whether you're black, Mexican, Asian, white, just go and work. And don't start playing this victim card and start trying to play political, make things political about money, for instance, or don't get mad at people for making money. Like, that's why America is the greatest country in the world, is because of capitalism. And we had 250 years to do it. All these other countries had thousands of years to do it, but they didn't do it. That's why we have to protect what's ours.
Damn right, we have to protect what's ours. And keep this in mind, folks. Nick Shirley was 10 years old when that clip I played came out. That clip I just played 10 minutes earlier, describing the exact same damn fraud 13 years ago. This kid was 10 years old. And here he is exposing it again. And they're calling him a racist. And like you said, my generation's over it. We don't think that way. And like I said, I'll show you. Here's a black guy, put a video up right here. He's an American, okay? He puts the Somali teeth in because, hey, I'm sorry. A lot of them got the same thing where they're choppers, you know, their teeth, because of inbreeding. I'm sorry. It's part of their culture. They have culturally low IQs, okay? But anyway, so it doesn't matter. Americans are sick of it, okay? It doesn't matter about race.
Hello, my name is T. Omar, and I need a loan for $2 million for my child care facility. We teach things 24/7. I take care of you kids, and I just need some damn money. Can somebody? I'm Somalian, damn it. Cause listen, I've been working my ass off every damn day. I can't get a loan from the government. Can I get $18 billion damn dollars? Damn it, I'm Somalian. Give me some damn. Somebody put some damn money in my damn pocket. I'm Somalian shit. Okay? Put some money in my pocket. I guess you gotta be Somalian to get paid around this damn thing. Give me some damn money. Where my damn teeth go? Okay? I need $2 million.
So anyway, yeah, everybody's getting sick of it across the damn board. Oh, here we got Abby Phillips. That's her name. Here's Abby Phillips. She's on CNN. And boy, I tell you what, they're going to walk that fine line. And I hope somebody like Nick Shirley gets to sue their eyeballs right out of their damn heads. But anyway, here she is.
Is politics. But, you know, honestly, you knock on the door of a daycare center and you're like, let me in, let me in. What do you expect people to do? You know, in some of those cases, there were children in there. What do you want people to do in that situation? Open the door and say, come on in, when they know that the Somali community is under attack, is being threatened every single day? What is going on here?
Look, if there's fraud there or anywhere else as it relates, no question. But, you know, in the homeless shelters I run, we have daycare centers. If someone just showed up at the door banging to say, I want to, you know, bring a child there, we would not let them in. We don't let people who are unauthorized come in to daycare centers. But a big part of this that we also have to note is there was no need for the president to say the horrible things he said about the Somali.
Oh, we're just getting started, sweetheart. Talk about a horrible thing. We got a lot to say. Oh, there were children at some of those, like hell there were. Where? Nobody saw any kids. You're covering up for them. And here we got a little bit of pushback from Scott Jennings. That's her name, Abby Phillips. I don't know why I have trouble remembering, but I'll try to remember it from now on. But she, 9 times out of 10, every time Scott Jennings tries to talk, 9 times out of 10, her mouth is going. And she always talks over him. But anyway, it's the nature of the beast, I guess.
That nothing is being done, that no one is being held accountable, that this was just let to run rampant is completely false.
Well, some people have been held accountable, but I think in the opinion of most Republicans, not nearly enough. And truthfully, until somebody in a position of power, until somebody in a position in Minnesota, elected position, who was in charge of administering this or having some oversight over it goes to jail, it's honestly never going to stop. Look what's going on in blue states across the country. $9 billion in Minnesota, $70 billion in fraud in California, cooking the crime stats in Washington, D.C. When is someone in a position of power going to go to jail for the rampant
hold on
fraud?
a second.
What I am telling you, though, is in the case of these states and locales, this is public money, taxpayer money.
Sure.
People get elected. They're supposed to run these
DOJ
programs.
is doing their job every single day.
About
and they
Tim Walz, the Medicaid program is run by the state.
The DOJ is prosecuting
and he bragged about putting more money into this daycare
public funds
system that is obviously
all
rife with
the
fraud.
time.
She overlapped her voice. Did you notice that? She can't keep her damn mouth shut. And I wish she would say that. Why don't you keep your damn mouth shut? But I guess, yeah, he wouldn't be on there very long, would he? But I got a video. I get a copyright strike for it, but I don't know. Let me see. I got a couple of them. I'm going to copyright. Women in their hijabs outside of a sound off. It's because the music. I might get a copyright. Ha ha ha. Hold on, I'm coming. That's what the song's playing. Hold on. So Oh my gosh, I just read that whole thing with no audio. Anyway, I said I got this one in night mode because I wanted to make sure that I put it on the screen. Okay? We're removing the National Guard, and I'll abbreviate it. Chicago, Los Angeles, Portland, despite the crime, and the only reason the crime was reduced was because of the National Guard. Those cities were gone if we hadn't stepped in. The big part is he said, we will come back, perhaps in a much different and stronger form. Let me break that sentence down. We will come back, perhaps in a different and stronger form. That doesn't change the fact we will come back. When crime begins to soar again, only a question of time. It's hard to believe that these Democrat mayors competent, remember malfeasance, misfeasance, remember those terms, would want us to leave, especially considering the great progress that has been made, question mark, question mark, question mark. Well, you know what I think that means? That even with the perhaps part, let me see if I can find the right one from Clandestine. He starts off with holy S-H-I-T. Well, I'll get to it in a second. Notice that how the Dems mainstream media are upset at the people exposing the fraud instead of those committing the fraud. Why is that? Why is that? Because they're complicit. That's why. They're stealing our tax dollars and giving it to illegals as part of a broader scheme to steal elections. It's that simple. All right, I see a lot of no sounds now, and for a while. Do I have a 5x5? I cut my mic on. Where is that clandestine post? He says, holy S-H-I-N-N-T. This might be it. I don't know. No, it's Trump again. Let me see. Oh, good news. George and Amal Clooney, two of the worst political prognosticators of all time, because they all say Trump will never be president, have officially become citizens of France, which is sadly in the midst of a major crime problem because of their absolutely horrendous handling of immigration, much like we had under Sleepy Joe Biden. Remember when Clooney, after the now infamous debate, dumped Joe during a fundraiser, only to go on to the side of another stellar candidate, Jamala K., who is now fighting it out with the worst governor in the country, including Tim Walz. Was that her original name, Jamala? And then she put a K in front of it. Oh, thank you. Loud and clear, 5x5s. All right. Who's now fighting it out with the worst governor in the country, including Tim Walz, Gavin Newsom, for who's going to lead the Democrats to their future defeat. Clooney got more publicity for politics than he did for his very few and totally mediocre movies. He just wasn't a movie star at all. He was just an average guy who complained constantly about common sense in politics. Make America great again. Yes, indeed. Let's see if this is the one. Here it is from Clandestine. For that blacked out post I got in the back. Holy SH, and that's it. Trump just said he is removing the National Guard from Chicago, LA, and Portland, but says in stronger form, unquote. All caps, he is talking about sending in active duty military via the Insurrection Act. This comes after the Supreme Court ruling in Trump administration versus Chicago, where they ruled Trump was not allowed to send National Guard troops to Chicago to defend federal buildings. But Kavanaugh outlined in his opinion that Trump would be allowed to send active duty U.S. military into Chicago via the Insurrection Act. We are one step closer to Trump invoking the Insurrection Act. And I concur. Otherwise, I would not have posted Clandestine's opinion without saying I concur, and I do concur. Anyway, here's a creepy woman at CNN confronting Nick Shirley. You see he's got his hoodie on? He had hoodies made, say, Quality Leering Center. But anyway, she's going to double check about Nick Shirley's reporting, because he's only a 23-year-old.
But they've already done like 80 indictments. The cases have been going on, for years.
And why did I show up one day in Minnesota and go to all these daycares, no children? They're receiving millions of dollars. We uncovered nearly $110 million in fraud in one day.
How do you know that all the allegations that you're making are true?
How do I know that they're true? Well, we showed you guys what was happening, and then you guys can go ahead and make your own analysis.
We're coming so we can make our own analysis. Are you 100% sure you're true?
Yeah, I am 100% sure I'm true.
CNN is looking into Shirley's claims.
Hi, my name's Whitney Wild. I'm a correspondent for CNN.
We reached out to several of the daycares featured in the now viral video. Only one daycare facility answered and said they are a legitimate business.
Have you seen the videos, purporting that some of these daycares don't have kids inside?
Minnesota Republicans say despite the new focus from the Trump administration, they have been sounding the alarm on fraud for
So she called a bunch of them, and none of them answered. One place answered, "Yes, we have children." They've got children. They said so on the phone. They've got children. See, Nick Shirley doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just stirring up trouble. What a bunch of idiots. Here's something for your Meta right here. Quality Leering Center. I saw something earlier, Elva. I didn't take down any comments, Elva, if you're still out there. Wasn't me. YouTube's got a algorithm that takes care of stuff if they don't, if it doesn't fit with their case. As I do not have any moderators. Trump put this up. Tim Walz of Minnesota is a crooked governor. How well do you think he's sleeping? How much you want to bet he's conniving and consorting with his Confederates, one of which I suspect would be Mr. Sweaty Man Andrew Weissman and Mark Elias, the people that dream up this creative lawfare. Devin Nunes put this up. Look at this. Reposted it. Let's see, Devin Nunes. Elon Musk net worth $744.6 billion. Somali daycare center owner number one, $257 billion. Somali daycare owner number two, $249 billion. Somali daycare owner number three, $243 billion. Can we have sanctions put on them? Can we seize their assets? I would say we should. Republicans. Big Pharma, medical community. The Somalis got nothing on them, okay? They're just as big a bunch of damn crooks as the Somalis are. Republicans, no more money to fat cat insurance companies. The money must go directly to the people to buy their own health care. President Donald J. Trump, that's exactly right. Why the hell should I have to deal with... I would like to have half the money I've given insurance companies over the years. Half the money. I would be a fat cat. I would be very happy and comfortable. But no, they've got my money and I've got squat. I've got a little thing called squat for giving insurance companies hundreds of thousands of dollars. Are a bunch of cheaters and thieves that never want to do what's good for America. As an example, they refuse to even consider voter identification. Why? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Because they want to cheat. And the Republicans should not put up with this and many other such things any longer. Remember, he's the chief law enforcement officer of the United States. We can't continue to go on in this state of lawlessness. Here's something else for you to put on your meta. How's your library going along there, Barack Hussein Obama? Have you heard of him? There's this library. Oh, Quality Learning Center. What a dump. What a dump. What is that thing supposed to be? Something out of Mad Max. Yeah, a new one inside. It's so affordable, they got to put super subsidies into it because it's so affordable. It's affordable if you're a Somali. You just show up and say, "Me no speaky," and you get everything. California and Colorado are two of the top outbound states in 2025. United Van Lines, people moving out. In other words, people leaving. That's what bad governors do to even places blessed with beautiful surrounds and climate. President Donald J. Trump. Here we go. There's more fraud in California than Minnesota, if that is even possible. When you add in election fraud, then they're tied for first. 2 crooked governors, 2 crooked states. So is the president impotent? Is all the president able to do is just put out mean posts? Is that all he's able to do? We're going to find out. Happy New Year to all, including my many enemies and those who have fought me and lost so badly they just don't know what to do. Love. Happy New Year, you rat bastards. You trash. Here we go. The United States has set a world record on investments being made into a country, and it's trillions of dollars more than number 2, China. This is singularly because of tariffs and the fact that if you make your product in the U.S., there are no tariffs. Hence, factories and businesses are being built all over our country at a level never seen before. Congrats to the USA on this incredible achievement, President Donald J. Trump. That's also a message to SCOTUS. They better get their heads and their rear ends wired right in order to properly rule on tariffs. Their head and their rear ends need to be wired right. God bless Tina Peters, who is now, oh my God, 2 years out of 9 sitting in a Colorado maximum security prison. That governor needs to go to jail, and that judge that put her in jail needs to go to jail. They know damn well they're covering for election fraud. They know what she was trying to do was preserve federal election records. At the age of 73 and sick for the crime of trying to stop the massive voter fraud that goes on in her state, where people are leaving in record numbers. Hard to wish her a happy new year, but to the scumbag governor and the disgusting rhino DA who did this to her. Nothing happens to the Dems and their phony mail-in ballot system that makes it impossible for a Republican to win an otherwise very winnable state. Notice he left out the judge. Notice he didn't mention the judge. That judge better watch out, okay? Because when you're really going to whop somebody, you don't let them know it's coming. I wish them only the worst. May they rot in hell. Free Tina Peters. That's exact. And along with that damn judge. A disgrace. 9 years. I would like to see his record, what he's sentenced real criminals to. When's the last time he handed out a 9-year sentence? What about the lesser sentences? What did people do that he sentenced? He's an absolute disgrace. Why do you think one of the first things Trump did was use Doge? Why do you think one of the first things Trump did was use Doge was to shut down U.S. aid? Man, had to get that one out. Because the Dems plan to use their Soros color revolution model to fund mass riots and chaos. You thought BLM was bad? Imagine if we arrested Obama without cutting off their money supply. Reminding us all. What's this one? Chicago One Ray said, karma. This illegal hit a jackpot at the Bally's Casino. When he went in to collect his winnings, they told him he can't get his payout. You know he's gambling with our tax dollars. I just love it when karma rears its head. So they didn't show his face in this frame of the clip. He won the jackpot. You can't get it. Put an egg in your shoe and beat it. Let's see here. All right, what's clandestine guy going on? I'm getting real sick of people saying it's both sides. Globalists took over this nation, and their vehicle was the Democrat Party. Of course, most GOP politicians are useless, but the DNC's agenda policy is the mechanism that destroyed this country. Corrupt media, open borders, voter fraud, censorship, political persecution, weaponization of justice system against political opponents, widespread violence, rioting, woke trans bullshit, sexualization of children, etc. All of the corruption and tyranny is coming from the left. And the resistance is coming almost exclusively from the right. I'm not saying that Republicans are innocent, but I am saying that one side is significantly worse than the other, and that's not up for debate. And I agree with that too. We got plenty of criminals in the Republican Party, enablers. But the DNC is a criminal organization and needs to be disbanded. The Democrat National Committee, that's not the party. Minnesota-run daycare bizarrely says all their important documents about child care were stolen in a mystery break-in. Oh, and they got no computer backup. They didn't put anything in their computers, did they? What a joke. Who falls for that kind of crap? Oh, that was Trump that posted that. Trump posted it and said it was fraud. Minnesota daycare scandal, Trump again. Sparks concern over election policy that allows a voter to vouch for others made for fraud. The controversial Minnesota election policy allows a single voter to vouch for up to 8 people. How the hell does that work? It works if you're a criminal stealing an election. You have one Somali vouch for 8 other Somalis, and it's all legal. Oh, it's okay. I know him. He's a good guy. Oh, here's Trump doing a rare pushback on Putin. Putin attack bluster shows Russia is the one standing in the way of peace. He's putting a little heat on him. That tanker they were chasing, the Coast Guard was chasing, ended up putting up a Russian flag. And I think that kind of made Trump mad. We'll see what happens with that. Here's another nitwit liberal. And watch her get so upset. And intelligence, don't question my integrity, don't question my professionalism. Or you'll hear her sprinkle comments like that in. But all she's doing is prattling the same crap about how we're supposed to be tolerant and not pick on people and not judge everybody, blah, 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 while we're getting robbed blind. And anybody, this is again Scott Jennings, I believe. Anybody who tries to talk, they turn it in, oh, you're attacking me personally. You're a young nitwit that's repeating a bunch of gibberish you've been taught. You don't know anything about real life.
Make this about Abrego Garcia, then it seems like, oh, that's something that happens over there to this person that doesn't involve me. The key point here is ICE illegally held Abrego Garcia without a removal order, the basic legal document needed. And so
it could happen to any of us.
That's a damn lie. That's a lie that was put up by Judge Zenas, and she needs to be removed from the bench. The order wasn't worded the way she wanted it to be. They didn't write in there, this is a final order of deportation. It was an order of deportation. Get your ass out of our country, okay, after 8 or 9 years of running around illegally in order, already being ordered out before. So anyway, it wasn't Scott Jennings. It's somebody else trying to get a word in edgewise. And she gets all like someone's committed some kind of affront to her professionalism. Just a young nitwit.
just recently signed a contract. Yes, it can happen to any of us.
Are you a legal
just
alien?
recently. I don't know what I
You're
don't.
not.
People aren't illegal, so
You're
undocumented
a citizen of the United
Well, if
States.
you don't have
He's
the
not.
opportunity, if you don't have the opportunity to fight to have due process, then how can
Is he an
anybody
illegal
say
alien
that?
or not?
I don't call people illegal aliens. I
Is
think
he
that's a
is he
slur.
an illegal? Is he in the country illegally?
Is he here undocumented? Yes.
Is he an illegal
But if I
alien?
may have the professional courtesy to finish my point,
Just be
even more
honest about
concerned. I'm not the liar at the table. Believe
Just
me.
be honest about it.
But
You're
I
lying
think
right
what's
now.
more, I'm not lying. But please, if you can give me the courtesy to finish my point, I think it's very.
If I could have professional courtesy. You're not a professional. You're a mouthpiece. You're a nitwit mouthpiece. You know, I got to cover this. I want to go over this stuff here. The mullahs are in trouble. Students chant this is Telegraph, pro-women and anti-Khomeini slogans amid worsening economic crisis. There he is. They all want a caliphate. Okay? All these countries and immigrants that we're having problems with are all on board with this caliphate. The Hamas, Yemen, Hezbollah, all these creepos that are causing trouble are tied in with Iran. The Kerry family, okay, Obama and his underlings, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, all of them, they're tied in with Iran. And remember how I told you how Fetterman, they tried to put him in a trick box and they wouldn't play my video the other day? Fetterman said, Fetterman backs potential strikes to stop any Iranian nuclear weapons ambitions. Yeah, they're trying to throw Fetterman under the bus, but I think it's helping him out. Line in the sand. Early this year, U.S. launched military strikes that leveled key Iranian nuclear facilities, taking direct aim at the regime's nuclear weapons program. Senator John Fetterman made it clear he supported the action at the time and has now doubled down, saying he would back similar strikes again if Iran tries to rebuild its nuclear program. Fully supported the strike earlier this year, fully support any future strikes to damage or destroy their nuclear ambitions. Well, they're out there. I got a short clip. I could have got another clip, what happened later on. But this was in the streets last night, of people raising hell into the wee hours of the morning.
I'm alone. I should be a Charles.
Yeah, but the other clip I can't play because guess why? Because they're shooting their own people again. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Undocumented means illegal, you dimwits. That's right, Miss Mendersue. Anyway, so here's a young lady from Iran. And you know what? I'll put it in even a better nutshell when she's done. Where is she? Here she is. They're all part of the crowd that wants a caliphate, but she is from Iran, and she can describe her perception of the situation.
Hi, Iranian woman here, back again to answer the #1 question that I get asked all the time. Why will the mainstream media not report on Iran, the uprisings, the protests, the demonstrations against the regime? There's actually a very simple and clear answer, and you're going to understand it like that once I put it into a conceptual framework for you to make sense of. Here's the tough pill to swallow. The reason that the mainstream media will not report on Iran is because the Islamic regime is their ally. Okay, their ally in what? Their ally in the war on the West. The war on the West was originally fought by the communists against the West. Now the baton has been passed to the Islamists. Now here's where it gets interesting. The Islamists are not alone in their war on the West. They're actually working with their allies who are internal. Okay, so the Western left are their allies. But it's not just the Western left anymore. There's now been a fusion between the woke left and the woke right. They've made a super pact, right? They are now the super woke. So the Islamists are in an alliance with the super woke to destroy the Western world. Now you have the foundations. Let's talk about the role of mainstream media. Mainstream media, okay, their responsibility in this war is to manage your perception, how you see the world. How you see the world is shaped by what you are exposed to. Therefore, the mainstream media is curating an alternative universe where you see exactly what they want you to see in accordance with this story that they're creating. What is that story? The story is that the West is the source of all evil and the jihadists are actually just oppressed freedom fighters. So what happens? Let's put our thinking caps on here. What happens when the media exposes the truth of what is happening in Iran, what's happening in Afghanistan, what's happening in Yemen, what's happening in Sudan, what's happening in the Congo, what's happening in Nigeria, what's happening in Lebanon, what is happening in Gaza under Hamas? What happens is that very carefully constructed illusion that they've been training your perception through collapses like a house of cards. The reason they cannot tell you what's going on in Iran is because it exposes their ally in the war on the West. The media is not here to offer you truth. The media is here to manage your perception. And it does that by exposing you only to heavily manipulated information that supports their narrative.
Everything she said is correct, but you could put it more plump and plain that they are involved in an illegal psychological warfare campaign. The Democrats and the mainstream media and the politicians and judges that are on board with it, they're all part of a psychological warfare campaign, an insurrection against the sovereignty of this nation. But what else is going on with Iran? Get a load of this. The Iranian attack drone by Inquisitor, I guess, who put this picture up. Quds Mohajir 6 was spotted where? An Iranian attack drone in Venezuela at the El Libertado Air Base. Retardo Air Base. Is that how you say it? What are y'all talking about? I put a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee if anybody wants to help the channel out. It's at the 145 mark, I believe I put it in there. I'm trying to pick up what's going on in the conversation. I gave out my email one time and it got blasted. My secret email got destroyed. I had an entire different account. I can't really talk about it, but it got blasted. No longer exists. The phone disintegrated in my hands. So anyway, yeah, I've got Buy Me a Coffee. I'm on Truth Social. And I'm here on Utizzle, and I'm on Rumble. That's right, Miss Bender Sue. I'm from parts unknown. So anyway, so we've got Iran screwing around with that Iran has their little nasty special forces characters in Caracas that has conducted operations on our soil to assassinate and or kidnap residents of our primarily an Iranian woman. They want who was leading these. I'll read this in a minute. Leading the move for women to show their hair. Look here. Here's women risking everything. I mean everything. To show their hair. See her putting her hand up there? What does it say? Iran? What was she? Anyway, here they are putting something on social media, and hopefully they won't get tracked down, because you know what'll happen to them. That's a big no-no, and they're resisting. Anyway, Trump calls his then National Security Advisor Kellogg, remember that name? An idiot for supporting Zelensky, according to the New York Times, citing sources. According to them, Kellogg immediately had a difficult relationship with other members of the administration. He told the Europeans, I'm defending against these isolationists in the administration. And he publicly called Zelensky a fighting and courageous leader of a country at war. Listen, Kellogg, Ukraine has never been an independent country for over 1,000 flipping years. It's either been German, Polish, or in Russia, or bits and pieces of it scattered around. It's been a territory, okay? But anyway, it's still not a country. It's not registered with the UN anywhere as an independent nation. Later, Trump asked him, so you're calling Zelensky a man in a difficult situation and a brave one? Sir, that's right, Kellogg replied. There's a struggle for the survival of his country on Ukrainian soil. When was the last time an American president faced something like this? It was Abraham Lincoln. Later, when discussing this episode with other advisors, Trump grumbled, he's an idiot. Well, I concur. He's an idiot. He doesn't know. He should watch Putin's interview when he went with Tucker Carlson. Everybody made fun of Putin for sitting there giving the history of it, but it was facts, okay? I got this one video. I don't know if I should play it or not, but anyway. I got a lot of stuff I didn't get to, but I'll have to get to it on another night. I got another nice young lady. We like finishing up with nice young ladies who don't have nose rings and purple hair, right? And they don't scream and yell and act like lunatics on their TikToks. They're reasonable people, okay? And that's what I'm going to do is play this nice young lady. And I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me. And I should be going live again, let's see, tomorrow night. But if you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. So anyway, I hope you all have a great New Year's. Don't drink too much. And of course, don't drink and operate a motor vehicle. I know nobody will do that in the chats. So anyway, let's look forward to a great New Year. You all enjoy this nice little video. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Am I going crazy, or is this the same guy? Is the manager of the infamous Learning Center in Minneapolis also one of the guys that was dancing in the back of Mayor Jacob Frey's election victory video? The one that went super viral where he thanks his constituents in Somali for re-electing him last month? Ibrahim Ali claims to be the manager of the Quality Learning Center and says that there is no fraud going on whatsoever there. He very well may just have a doppelganger who happens to look just like him that lives in the very same city he lives in, or he could be one of the Somali community leaders who is working with local electeds to keep some of these fraud schemes going. But that would just be crazy. I could be totally wrong to assume this, but he's got a very...
Is he the same Ali that was in the 2013 video? When Nick Shirley was 10 years old? That I said, I bet you he's still in the country, committed all that fraud?
Very unique face and hairline.
Put out a certain message about a certain group.
I mean, he looks so similar to this guy going... fraudulent business would have a vested interest in who is in control politically in the city where they are running said fraudulent business. And Jacob Frey is no stranger to simping for Somalia. Hell, he even puts out campaign videos in Somali for
Maaga Egawa Jacob Fry, Dolke Magalada, Minneapolis.
And the cherry on top is that Governor Tim Walz, after being radio silent, finally comes out and puts out a statement days later, just a few minutes ago. And what does he do? He blames Trump. Trump keeps letting fraudsters out of prison. I'm curious, do you guys think this is the same guy? Because if I was the DOJ, I would be getting to know Ibrahim very well right now.